We're discussing climax or the turning point of a play.
Freytag said that this is the moment when the reader knows who or what is going to succeed in the winning conflict. And the conflict is the greatest point, or the highest point of tension in the story. And this is the point when the main character's decisions or actions makes the final outcome inevitable. Inevitable. I can't say that word, I'm sorry. Which means it's going to happen no matter what. And then Aristotle said that this is the turning point in the story. It changes the protagonist's fate. If the story is a comedy, things will have gone really good or really bad for the protagonist up to this point. Then the plot will begin to unfold in his favor. If the story is a tragedy, the opposite will occur, with things going from really bad for the protagonist, or going from good to bad for the protagonist. And this often reveals the protagonist's hidden weakness.
Okay, Mitchell, before you talk about what you want to talk about, she said that in a comedy, things have gone really badly, and then at the climax, things start to turn out good for the protagonist, and in that you find the character's hidden strengths that you knew nothing about. What happens with a tragedy?
Their weaknesses.
You show their weaknesses, but everything has happened in their favor, and then what happens at the turning point? Everything goes bad, and you find out these great, noble people, kings or whatever, had these weaknesses again that all human beings have.
David Ball says that the climax is the moment when the opposing forces reach their critical mass.
When do you think the climax occurs in Soul to Dead?
When Janie grabs
Okay, when Janie grabs the bomb. Okay, does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and call your next people.
next is Mariella and
we're describing the following action, which is
I'm going to move those boxes, I'm sorry, because those probably should be down. I got it.
It's fine. It's also known as the denouement. According to Freytag, it is made up of events that shift the plot back to equilibrium, where the tensions go away and the complications diminish. David Ball described it as a moment when the forces kind of come into equality.
Aristotle says that tragedy is a complete action, an object of fear and pity. These events are most effective when they are unexpected, yet one thing happens because of the other. He writes that we wait, that we will have wonder of things that happen by chance or by fortune, even though they seem to have happened by design. So he's pretty much saying that things like tragedy or just the turn points of the story, that those are most effective when they come out of nowhere, even though everything prior to this point of the story is like a chain reaction. So things are happening because of it. But he's saying when this comes unexpected, it hits the audience more and they are more affected by it. And that even though by the resolution this is a falling point, so it's trying to even them out, that he's making it towards designed to finish the way it's going to finish, that still this little twist in the story gives that audience more effect of it.
So what I think she's trying to say is that even though when you do the trigger and heap and all these others analysis of structure, one domino hits the other and all, do any of us really enjoy a story or a play or a movie where everything's predictable?
No.
And that far back, even though it's always neat to go back and say, oh, now I know why that happened. Now it makes sense, but you didn't see it coming. Surprise is always good, and that's another thing that keeps the audience interested and involved. And Aristotle knew that. And again, what was another word for this equilibrium? What did David Ball say? Stasis. What does that remind you of? What are the words?
Status quo.
Status quo, okay. And then, what was another name for resolution?
Denouement.
Very good, okay.
Kelsey needs to leave.
Okay, thank you.
Next
He's
is
filling
Roxy,
it out.
Dillard, and Soul. Take two.
What events were in the falling action, by the way?
When Janie died and
Jenny
Riley
dies and what else?
Riley comes in and sings and kind of, like when she's singing the bomb, saying that we need to sacrifice ourselves because Janie sacrificed.
And all of the characters' reactions to what happened at that point and how it affected them individually? Okay, thank you. All right, so now we're down to the last part of Freytag's here.
This is the resolution, and Aristotle says that the resolution is a change. For example, the characters or the story can go from good to bad, from ignorance to knowledge, from friendship to hatred, or vice versa.
Freytag stated that the resolution was basically just the final outcome of the play, the conclusion or denouement, which means, yeah, just the final outcome of the play.
And David Ball says that the resolution of the play is basically when there's no longer conflict and new stasis is achieved. Like the end of one play can start another play, which is how you have series of plays and movies and books.
Do you girls remember what that word denouement means? Okay, what is it? Untying, like the unknotting of something. Okay, what else do you want to say about this? What was the resolution, or what is the resolution in Soldadera?
We all died.
All sacrificing ourselves.
All sacrificing yourselves. So what does that mean in the whole picture of that play and the thing? Is there a statement made by that?
Yeah, that
That-
no one really wins in war.
No
You
one
can't
wins
win.
anymore. And pretty dramatic end of that. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay, thanks. You did a great job.